Like, you can't want to be a poet or take up poetry. It's not something you just decide you're going to try and become or try and do sometime. It should just come to you naturally, and it should come from, for me personally, and I think it should be this way for anyone, it should come from their wits and their quick thinking and the way they can interpret things. Because I read in the dictionary quite recently that a poet is someone with superior and imaginative skills and that can be put into writing and text and stuff. But a lot of poets or wannabe poets or people that call themselves poets, they're not poets. They can't do it. They don't know it. They don't know how to show it. They can't prove it. They can't get in the groove of it or anything. They try and put up a pompous drama, stagecraft, and they look like crap. And I wrote poems about these kind of people and stuff. And we'll get round to them sometime when I've got more time to do it. But blah de blah blah. Now, the reason why you can't just become a poet, and don't go thinking like people like William Wordsworth are good poets, they're not, because he had a lot of critics in his day, and a lot of stuff he writes is decrepit, and it's inept, and it's because people's low intelligence and acceptance for what is or what they've been told is, like William Wordsworth, Lakeland poet. That's just a bunch of people freeloading off him, flying his flag and bagging his cash, and he's dead and don't have to pay the cuts to the man. You see, now if you should be so inspired and so stuck in your ways as such, and stand by your morals, that for me personally, like I look at the people that fly the Wordsworth flag and they bag his cash, I just think I don't want to get involved with those freeloading culture vultures. Bunch of worthless serfs, they can't even write verse themselves. Anyway, so and you want to be someone like where you wake up and you wake up in the middle of the night and you write in something in a poem. You've got to be that passionate about it. But you don't want to get yourself where you become one of these reclusive hermit type, pale skinned, drug dependent, drink dependent weirdo that writes like in dark rooms about macabre things and crap like that, and slitting wrists and vampires and all that shit. Those freaks, they're just geeks. They ain't even geeks, they're just weirdos. They are the meek. That's what they are. They are the meek. And the meek shall never rule the world because they get eaten as meat. And I've got a poem about something along the lines of that as well. You see, everything I say is either based on truth or any of it that's fictional or fantasy is done with a great imaginative skills and creativeness. It makes all the other people look decrepit, because you hear about poets and stuff like writing things about flowers in the flower boxes on the windowsill, and it's like those people ain't got no poetry skills. They ain't got the determination, the originality, the individual uniqueness in the way they speak. They're very conformative to the whole poetry scene or whatever, and I'm like way out of wave, detached from that pile of crap. I don't have nothing to do with it. Saying that I write poetry, I don't even regard myself as a poet. You may have heard in the medieval times there was something called court jesters and fools. Now the jesters were people who used to do things to pleasure people with shows and tricks and little... basically they were clowns that juggled and things like that. But then there was a court fool, and the court fool knew no rules, and he would speak his mind whenever time, even if it was the wrong time. And they got called quicks. And they were called quicks because they had quick wits, and they had to be quicks from stopping their head getting cut off by the so-called king of a sovereign. So say for example, if they put me in that situation, I'd just go around that court fool. I would fool everyone and a certain way of thinking, maybe make them develop an opinion about me which they weren't quite sure. Then I'd turn it round the head, then make them look the fool, and they'd be saying things, oh, you can't go around doing things like that, and I'll say only a fool will go follow by those rules, you stupid serf. Kiss my cave, I ain't your slave. And they'd be like, oh no, you're the king's fool. I said, no, I ain't his fool. You're the stupid fool. You may be a serf, but you ain't nothing but a serf. And you can go around just using your wits and telling them, blowing all the script they've been indoctrinated with out of their mind and making them all look like a waste of time. Then the king would have a fool because he thought he was cool. And they were all called quicks. And they had to be, because they were quick by name and they were quick by nature, and poetically and wittingly they would rape you through and through. You wouldn't know what to do. They were so good, they were like Robin Hood with long bows made from you, and they could cut you and shoot you and kill you with their tip of their tongue to make you look like a moron. Because it's so good, we're better than Robin Hood in Oodalali, Borrowdale Valley. Woohoo!